Hey everyone, and welcome back to some more esports talk. My name is Hunter and thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you guys are staying hydrated today. This is my third bottle of water, so go get you one and listen up. Hiko was on stream comparing CSGO to Valorant, where he brings up a few good points that I wanted to highlight. The first of which being that he feels like compared to CSGO, Valorant requires much less out of him physically, that is to travel, than CSGO did.
Do you enjoy more your Valorant career or CSGO? I would say, I don't know. It's hard to say. I definitely want to kind of wait and see how the Valorant LAN scene plays out. Because I haven't got to play on LAN in Valorant yet. And I really want to. So we'll see. I don't think Valorant, especially just because of how things are shaping up, I don't think Valorant will ever get to the point where CS was, where it's like, what I mean by that is CS got to a point where you're literally traveling. I think Nitro, my teammate, 100 Thieves Nitro, when he was on Liquid and when we were teammates in Liquid in like 2016, if there are 12 months in the year, you're doing something like you're traveling for like 7 or 8 months. You're like gone, not at home. So I do kind of feel like having some kind of a not so much, like when I was younger, when I was like in 2013, we were traveling a lot. Like we were boot camping in Europe. We were going to Europe all the time. It was just kind of like, it was a lot to handle.
Now, to me, this is something to take note of for two big reasons. The first of which being that players are getting older, obviously, right? A lot of these CSGO players who went over to Valorant, like Hiko, like Nitro, now have families, have wives, girlfriends, kids, dogs, all this, that, and the other. And so traveling 7 months out of the year doesn't really make sense for those players, or it's not going to be preferable, right? And then the other thing is, of course, Valorant has been big in this era of COVID, and COVID has affected a lot of LANs, and so there hasn't been as many, of course.
And I feel like now, if Valorant is like how League is, where you don't really travel that much, you're at home a lot, and there's a lot of stuff online, and like the big LANs are few and far between, I feel like it makes the LANs more important and more impactful and like more meaningful. And it also makes it's less of a toll and a tax on players who have families or friends or girlfriends or wives or children or whatever. Of course, this is coming from me with 2 teammates who have wives and a teammate who has a child and 17 dogs. And I mean, I have a dog myself. So yeah, I think it's probably better for everybody if the scene isn't as travel heavy as it was in the CSGO heydays. And I think that one of the things that CS has become is people complained a lot about it being oversaturated, and like who really cares if like every weekend you see a Navi versus Astralis grand finals. Like it's just the meaningness to it is just very low.
So this asks the question, is less LAN events actually better? I think I and Hiko seem to agree that less would be better, especially when you compare the game to something like League of Legends, where it was much more spread apart. They have LANs much more spread apart, and so people are very hyped about those specific ones, versus in CSGO, things kind of started to feel not as important because it was like, oh, well, we'll just play them in the next one pretty soon. So personally, I think I agree there. I would like to see less LANs so that the ones that we do have are massive and really important and really hyped up. Another thing that he does compare, speaking of League of Legends, and asks a big question, is will Valorant ever franchise?
We'll see. I kind of like where Valorant's heading. I don't know if they're ever going to actually what's the word that they used in League? Franchise? I don't know if they're ever going to franchise the League, but I don't know if it'll be good or bad if they do. At this point, I feel like I would rather them not.
So just to recap real quick, what Hiko is saying here is Valorant is much less demanding physically so far than CSGO because it takes a lot less travel than CSGO previously did. Also, with all the travel CSGO did take, could less events actually work out in favor of Valorant in the long run? Could that make the events more hyped up. And then finally, could Valorant ever franchise just like League of Legends did? Personally, I have no idea. I think that they will. Hiko hopes that they will not, so we will just have to wait and see. Let me know what you think about all this, guys. Until next time, be safe, be smart, behave. I'll catch you later.